What is up guys, and welcome back to another Classic WoW Season of Mastery video. So we have some news regarding the beta, and we are now entering week 3 of the open beta for Season of Mastery. And right now you can test your characters all the way up to level 60. This just happened today or yesterday, depending on when I can upload this video. Basically on Tuesday after the maintenance, we had a maintenance for Season of Mastery's open beta. And after the maintenance was finished, we entered week 3, and with week 3 of the open beta we have some changes to the actual beta itself. Test characters can now be leveled to level 60, the Adventurer Weight buff now grants an additional experience bonus to dungeon quests and quests flagged as elite, so dungeon quests and group quests. High Elf Watchers have made an appearance in the Ironforge library, and Undercity Apothecarium, seeking to chronicle those who bear a soul of iron. I checked this out myself on the open beta by logging in and going over to Ironforge, and by talking to one of these High Elf Watchers, you can get the Soul of Iron buff on your character, which is basically just an official hardcore Iron Man challenge for Classic Fresh. So by going to these High Elf Watchers, you can actually officially activate hardcore mode, which means you now have 1 life, so be careful with that one, but definitely if you want to join the hardcore challenge, there you go, it's now official, and you can join them in Ironforge. Personally, I would love to see if we could join them other places as well, just flag you at level 1, because going through the cave of Trogs as a gnome or a dwarf could be really dangerous. So having to go to Ironforge could be very dangerous for some classes. Night Elves as well, like how would you get to Ironforge without dying? I don't know. So hopefully they actually give us this in several cities, and maybe even the starting areas, that would be great. World buffs such as Rallying Cry of the Dragon Slayer, Warchief's Blessing, and many others will now be removed inside of instances, and the debuff limit on enemy units is no longer capped at 16. Significantly less experience is now awarded to players who kill a creature, while in a group with 1 or more players who are at much higher level than the creature that was slain. This is great. Personally, I would love to see exactly how high of a level they would have to be to actually trigger this experience debuff, or a significantly less experience to be awarded. I wanted to see an actual level cap, or like 10 levels above the mob that's being killed, or 15 levels above. Give us an exact number so we can follow. This is great though. This is step 1 to reducing mage boosting, and actually killing mage boosting as well. This is step 1, and it's great. The Looking for Group tool from the Burning Crusade Classic is now present in the Season of Mastery. I talked about this in my previous video. I really expected this one to happen, based on some data mined leaks, or basically data mines. So we found this out a couple of days ago now, 4 or 5 days ago. This was gonna come, and I don't really see why, because not a lot of people use them in Burning Crusade either, but either way, it's a quality of life slight upgrade. So next up, adjustments have been made to some dungeon enemies. Stratholme. All undead creatures in Stratholme will now gain an immunity to snares 30 seconds after entering combat, and gain immunity to roots after an additional 30 seconds of combat. For Maraudon, many creatures in Maraudon will gain an immunity to snares 30 seconds after entering combat, and also gain immunity to roots after an additional 30 seconds of combat. Also, for Maraudon once again, 30 seconds after gaining immunity to root effects, enemies gain 50% increased movement speed. This will straight up obliterate Stratholme farming and Maraudon farming, both in terms of just regular AoE farming and also boosting as well. For both Maraudon and Stratholme, any type of crowd control except for snares and roots will also reset the snare immunity, root immunity, and the speed buffs. So yeah, this straight up kills Maraudon boosting and Stratholme boosting, and this is great. For Sul'Farrak, they have actually gone in and touched the loot tables for the zombies, and zombie trolls in Sul'Farrak will now drop fewer lucrative treasures. Most of the loot previously dropped by the zombie trolls has been redistributed to other enemies in the dungeon. Adjustments have also been made to the enemies in Onyxia's Lair and Molten Core, as all creatures have had their health increased, and several mechanics that were removed in early versions of original Classic WoW or World of Warcraft has also been restored to certain bosses in both raids. As a final part of the blue post itself, we have some developers' notes. The adjustments to experience while in an overpowered group, along with gameplay tweaks in Stratholme and Maraudon, are the first round of changes meant to curtail boosting or power leveling of low-level characters in Season of Mastery. These changes should be largely invisible to groups who complete this content at an appropriate level with an appropriate group composition, while making many methods of kiting, gathering, and killing large groups of enemies much more precarious and inefficient. Please note that in Stratholme and Maraudon, the auras that grant immunity to slows and roots can also be reset if a creature is afflicted by a hard CC, such as a polymorph or shackle undead. Personally, I think Blizzard is doing the right thing here by actually adjusting the dungeons themselves and the mobs inside the dungeons, instead of touching the mage class or the mage talents, so this way mages can still keep their mage feeling and class identity of being able to AoE farm by doing that in the open world. You just won't be able to do that inside dungeons, meaning you can no longer boost, and also farming in Sul'Farrak will no longer be lucrative, because the zombie trolls have a different loot table, and they drop fewer lucrative treasures. So overall, these are very good changes for Season of Mastery. I'm really hopeful for the actual boosting meta, and Blizzard being able to fix this for Season of Mastery. It will give us a completely different feeling for the actual game itself. It will feel much more alive by people doing questing in the open world. We also have more quests more experience from quests as well, giving people further incentivization to actually go out and quest, so there will be a lot more people out in the open world, rather than just doing dungeon grinding this time around, and later in the game as well, people will still be in the open world, instead of leveling their alts through mage boosting, so the world itself will feel more alive, and I'm really excited for it. Based on the fact that we are now in week 3 of open beta, and we have just been actually testing this for just about 2 weeks now, we just started week 3, I'm becoming more and more hopeful, and also I think this will happen. The release date for Season of Mastery will be November 23rd. Could also be before that time as well, but we are getting really close to release date. We can now level to level 60 on the open beta. We are testing raids, we are testing dungeons. We also have the hardcore stuff, and we are getting closer and closer to a finished product. At the speed we are currently going, I wouldn't be surprised if the open beta lasts for 2 more weeks. So we finish week 3, then we go into week 4, and we finish week 4 as well, which is basically just max level stuff, and we can actually get some pre-made level 60 characters to test out some raids as well, just to get that tested out, because I don't think everyone will be leveling to 60 on the beta, so giving us preset characters at level 60 would be a great way for Blizzard to test out max level raids and dungeons or PvP, basically whatever, at max level. So if that happens during the next 2 weeks, then we have 2 weeks without any beta, then they could release Season of Mastery on November 16th or November 23rd. Let me know in the comments down below when you think Season of Mastery will be coming out, and let me know if you're playing on the open beta. Leave a like on the video if you enjoyed it. I'm really excited for Season of Mastery, I hope you are as well. Subscribe to the channel for more Season of Mastery content. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you again very soon.